Hello, lovelies. Welcome to Narc Free Formula. My name's Freedom. Thank you for joining me. In tonight's episode, I want to talk about narcs and their phones. Sounds like a normal, everyday, average thing, but in the hands of a narcissist, even your average mobile phone can be used as a weapon. But before I start, can I please remind you, if you enjoy my videos, please remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you've got anything to say, leave it in the comments. Also, if you want to help me grow the channel, share the videos across other platforms. That'd be awesome. All right, lovelies. So I've got some notes and let's jump into it. Narcissist and mobile phones. So have you noticed how attached they are to their mobile phones? How they do not let them out of their sight. Literally take them to the bathroom when they go to the toilet. Will come back in a room if they've forgotten their mobile phone. That's how paranoid they are about people knowing what's going on in the phone. So if, like me, you're a trusting person, I've always trusted my partners. I've never thought to check up on them or watch them or, go through their phones. God, no, it's not even something that I would think to do. However, after being married with a narcissist for over a decade, I can categorically 100% guarantee you that narcissists will be going through your phone every time you leave the room. They'll go through your phone. They'll put spyware on your phone. Okay, they will keep an eye on you through your phone. So, as we all know, they project, right? So if they're so worried about your phone, what's that telling you? It's telling you a lot. It's telling you that they've got something going on in their phone that they don't want you to know about. And, I hate to break it down to you, but I hear people say, oh no, my husband lets me use his phone all the time. And I'm sure that's lulled you into a false sense of security, just like it was supposed to. If he's letting you use his mobile phone, there is two things happening. One, he has nothing on that phone. He's got a second phone or a second SIM card, or he's gone a step further. He's got everything on that phone. It's in hidden apps. See, there's apps and technology now that quite literally you can hide photos, messages. You can make your phone look have two settings. Here we go. So you can have two kind of settings. One is the public setting and one is the private setting. And if you know how to get into the private setting, it looks totally different to the public setting. So sure, he passes you over the phone, no worries, because he knows damn well that you're in the public setting and that there's no way you're going to be able to find his photos, his contacts, his messages to his new supply. He knows damn well you won't be able to find any of that stuff. Sorry, darlings, my lightings are a little bit average at the moment. Just give me 2 seconds, see if this helps. Lighting's a real challenge at night time. And how I found this all out, as always, I found out the hard way. Oh, that's bright. Turn that down. I found out the hard way. I found out by coming across a mobile phone. It wasn't mine, wasn't his. Well, it was his. Coming across this mobile phone in the garage one day, just out of the blue. It was such a random thing. I found this phone. And I started looking in the phone. And it's like, oh, my God, look, it's on. The internet's on. Oh, and here we are in some weird dating kind of app. And there's someone offering sexual favors to my husband. Anyhow, at the time, I just grabbed the phone and ran and started reading and learning about a whole double life that I had no clue about. Because I'm a trusting person, because I don't screw around, because I don't cheat, because I don't lie, because I'm not sneaky, I just assumed that he was too. And the thing is, he said that he was just like me. He said that he was loyal. He said that he was faithful. He said all the things that I wanted to hear. So I never really bothered paying that much attention to things. You know, as I said, I would never have thought to go checking up on his phone. Never, never, never. Until the day I found this second phone. And once I saw what was going on, I mean, talk about cognitive dissonance, you know, that whole brain implosion where, you know, you've got reality and then your new reality on top, and you're just in shock and you can't believe what you're seeing, but you know that it's real. It's a horrible thing to experience. It really, really is. But anyhow, I mean, I'm glad that I found that phone, because if I didn't find that phone, I'd probably still be married to an abusive, toxic man who was just taking advantage of me, my situation, and, you know, being a total narcissistic pig, basically. So, yay for finding phones. But anyhow, getting back to it. So, if they have a second phone, you won't know where it is. Or the other thing they do is, you know how small a SIM card is? What, you think that they can't hide a SIM card like that? You know, when people say to me, oh, no, it's just not possible. Yeah, it's possible. It really is possible. And the thing is, if they, you know, if you've gone through the kind of checklists with the narcissistic personality disorder, you actually looked at the diagnostic criteria, if you've come back and gone, yep, check, okay, then you'll know that this is what they do. This is part of their disorder, because they do not value relationships, commitment. They don't value honesty. They're all about getting supply. They don't care if they cheat. They don't care about any of the things that we care about. They say they do, but they really, really don't. And the mobile phone is the perfect tool and the perfect weapon for a narcissist. Like I said, it's got all these little hidden places where they can hide their messages, you know, or there's apps that they can put on your phone so they can literally spy on you. So they can get all of your text messages sent up to a portal where they can check in, like they log in, they can get access to your text messages, your photos, the websites that you've gone on, they can even record the phone conversations that you've had. You know, all of that stuff is available, and they can access it through your mobile phone. All they need is a few minutes to put the initial software on the phone. And, you know, it's kind of funny because for the last couple of years of my situationship, I used to find my Bluetooth on my phone on. And I used to think, I'm sure I never turn, like, I don't turn my Bluetooth on. Why would I do that? But it was always on. And it used to drive me a little bit batshit crazy. And it's kind of funny because in the 2 years that I've been separated, not once has my Bluetooth just accidentally turned itself on. You know, so obviously he was accessing my phone via Bluetooth, you know, just turning my Bluetooth on. His is open. There's a, you know, connection between the two phones, and that's the way he was transferring information. I mean, it's really quite sinister what they can do with mobile phones. So just remember that they can use it as a weapon. They can use it to cheat, and they do. But there are other things, other little games that they play with the mobile phones, and it's just so much fun. Let's play some Narc games. Like, you know, for example, I don't know, when you've had an argument with them, you know, or they've deliberately created an argument so they can storm out because they've got somewhere to be or someone to go see, and you try and call them and the phone's off, you know, and when they come back, they just say, oh, yeah, the battery went dead, or, you know, or the phone, yeah, must have fallen behind the back seat in the car. You know, it's amazing how often the narcissist has problems with the phone, you know, when in actual fact, what probably would have happened is they probably saw you call, ignored your call because, as I said, they were lining up new supply. That's why they created the argument in the first place. That's why they stormed off. You know, they love having the mobile phones, but they also need to, they don't like the inconvenience, you know, that you can call them. But they love lying to you about the mobile phone, and they love the fact They can see it in your face that you doubt them, that you're just not sure, and they lie to you some more. And then when you kind of go, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I suppose it could have just been turned off, they love that. That gives them fuel right then and there, because they just go, see, I'm fucking so much smarter than you, you stupid bitch. And that's the kind of stuff these blokes think, right? And meanwhile, we're giving them all of our love, all of our attention. We're giving them everything. And that is the way they think about us. It's really, really sinister. All right, another little fun game the narcs play with their mobile phone is when you're separated or, having time apart or whatever, when they accidentally text you or accidentally call you. The amount of times that I've been accidentally called by my ex and I can hear him and the new supplier chatting away. Like, I just let the phone, I just sit it there and let him spend all of his dollars, I'm not interested in anything they've got to say. I couldn't even imagine how boring that conversation would actually be. But, I just let him waste his dollars. That's his money to spend, whatever. But yes, and another little trick, another little game that I play, when they send a text message to you and then send it on and say, oh, no, sorry, wrong person. Oh, my Lord, all the games that they play. See, anything, this just goes to show that anything can be used as a weapon in the hands of the wrong person. I mean, mobile phones are supposed to be to communicate. And yet there is 50,000 games that the narcissists can play that do the complete opposite. It's, miscommunication. It confuses people. All right, another things that they use the phone for. They will deliberately lose your phone, because that's another great fun game, so you have to go off to work or have your day where, you can't find your phone. Meanwhile, they're going through your phone, checking everything out, gives them a day at home by themselves to literally have a good old spy on everything you've been doing. They change numbers. That's another thing. Narcissists are always on the run, so they're always, there's always someone that they've ripped off, someone that they've conned, someone that's looking for them, or they've given out the number to some woman and now she's ringing or whatever. There's a whole lot of reasons, but you will notice that they will change their numbers so often. It's like almost as often as they change their undies. It's just ridiculous. And another sinister thing they do with the phones is they will often destroy our phones. So they like to isolate us, and this is why they do it, because, as I said, they know the power of the phone. It's about communication. It's a tool to be able to talk to people. And they know that without your phone, you can't talk to people. You can't call for help. You can't get support when you need it. It makes you isolated and dependent upon them, which is exactly the way they want you to be. So then when you don't have a phone and they sit there on their phone playing their little games, sitting there and they're getting text messages coming through and you're like, oh, who's that texting? Oh, yeah, no one that you know. And they get to play all those little fun games, making you feel insecure, trying to gaslight and confuse you. And, they may very well be talking to new supply, but they may also just be talking to the bloke down the road, about getting some tyres for the car. But the fact is that they could just say that, but they don't. They don't. They always use every advantage, every opportunity that they have to gaslight and confuse you. They will do it. And the mobile phone is the perfect weapon. But anyhow, darlings, listen, I just want you to realise that, because I think that I find it really frustrating when I talk to women who are just so naive. And I understand, because I was naive too. Like, I really, really was. I'm a trusting person, so therefore I trusted him. I'm an honest person, so therefore I thought he was honest. And I get that. Like, I really do get that. But I'm telling you, if someone had told me to snap out of it and wake the fuck up, hopefully I would have. So this is me telling you, if you're having doubts, if your intuition is saying to you that he's up to something, that he's cheating, that he's sneaking around, or just, you're just getting feelings that he's lying to you, that he's not telling you the full story, please trust your instinct. Okay, it's there for a reason. Your intuition and your instinct is there to protect you. And look, anyone who's playing these kind of stupid games with you, I mean, that stuff just toxic shit anyhow. That's the kind of thing that you need to start thinking about how you're going to get out of the relationship. You don't want to be with someone who plays these games with you. You don't want to be with someone who's texting other women, or, putting spyware on your phone. Like, that stuff's really, really toxic, unhealthy, and can ultimately be dangerous. Like, these blokes can be dangerous. And like I said, and the mobile phone gives them the perfect kind of insight and tool to spy on you. We carry it everywhere. The GPS tells them exactly where we are at 24/7. 24/7. All it needs, they check in on your Google account. They've got all your passwords because, you've been together for so long. They know your passwords. You've either told them, because you trust them, because you don't think that people are like this. But people are like this. Well, not people, narcissists. Narcissists and sociopaths. This is what they are about. They are about control and power and manipulation. So every time you naively trust them with your passwords, they remember that stuff. They write that stuff down. They take note of that stuff. And so, for example, you might be separated for a couple of years afterwards, whatever, and he's still logged into all of your accounts. He still knows exactly what's going on because you've never stopped to think, about what ifs, what if he is actually spying on you. And they do spy. Okay, so if you've got the same phone, you probably need to get a new phone. You probably need to log out of absolutely everything. You need to change all your passwords. You should probably actually start new accounts. That's what I would do. I'd suggest starting new accounts. And if you're really concerned about this stuff, go and speak to a specialist and actually have your computer checked, your car checked. Anything that's got a computer chip in it needs to be checked. So phone, computer, and car. All right, lovelies, I'm going to leave it at that. But yeah, please take this seriously because, as I said, these blokes are dangerous. They really are. I've just been reading some of the Chris Watts case again, and every time I read that stuff, it just, reinforces and reminds me how important it is that we take this stuff seriously. Because, poor old Shanann, she wouldn't have known that that was coming until it was happening, and none of us want to end up like that. Okay, lovelies. Good night, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.